So hello everyone! Welcome back again to this channel, and this is your pre-service teacher, Crizzia Lobrido. So for today's video, we are going to tackle about the different types of performance assessment scoring. So if you want to know more, please keep on watching!
So first and foremost, let's tackle about the word performance assessment. So the performance assessment is when the students participate in activities and assignments that demand them to use their knowledge and abilities by making a presentation or a product. So this performance or the performance assessment is a sort of testing in which learners are required to complete a task rather than pick from a preset list of options, and this measures how well students can use their knowledge, abilities, and skills. So as a result, the students must come up with a unique solution to one or more questions, which is advantageous because it encourages the students to think outside the box. So the educators or the teachers can use this item type to see students' preset skills rather than assuming they know everything. So now let's tackle about the three main types of performance assessment scoring. So the checklist, rating scales, and the rubrics. So these three are examples of tools that can be used to assess criteria and gather data so that teachers and students can observe how well they can understand and can achieve specific objectives. So they have a number of mechanisms in place to collect data about individual behaviors, abilities, and skills of the students. So first, let's tackle about the checklist. So a checklist is a list of criteria or measurements that must be met. So when evaluating whether or not a student has met certain criteria, a checklist often uses a yes or no format. So this is similar to a light switch. The setting determines whether the light is on or off. So there may be times when personal observation recording is used to obtain information on a specific person, a group, or a situation. So examples are a checklist for evaluating the skills in writing, as well as when you have 10 things to do for work and you make a list of all of them and you check them off as you accomplish each of them. So now let's go to the rating scale. So a rating scale is used to indicate the presence or absence of a specific dimension. So the teachers can use rating scales to reflect the degree or frequency of a learner's behavior, skills, and the knowledge. So the rating scales can be used by teachers to record observations and by the students to become self-assessment tools. So the students can highlight certain strengths and needs by teaching them to use descriptive terms like always, usually, sometimes, and never. So the students can use rating scales to help them set goals and improve their performance. So there are two types of rating scale. So first is the numerical scale and the qualitative scale. So in the numerical scale, it is any scale that renders the quantitative symbolization of an attribute. And on the other hand, the qualitative scale, it is the any scale that renders the qualitative symbolization of an attribute. So now these are the examples for the numerical and the qualitative scale. So in the numerical scale, we have a numerical rating scale or NRS that requires the patient to rate their pain on a defined rate. For example, 0 to 10, wherein 0 is no pain, 5 is moderate pain, and 10 is the worst pain. On the other hand, for the qualitative scale, we have the expressing the satisfaction of a certain product by rating it from highly satisfied, satisfied, neutral, dissatisfied, and highly dissatisfied. So now for the third one, we have the rubric. So a rubric evaluates a student's performance using a set of criteria. So they are a scale that includes precise measurements for each level of performance as well as a detailed description of what the level involves. So in these situations, the description places a greater emphasis on the product's or performance quality rather than its quantity. So the rubrics are extensively used to assist instructors in determining the student performance. So we have here the two types of rubrics. First is the holistic rubric and the analytic rubric. So these holistic rubrics are one-dimensional single criterion that used to evaluate the participants' overall achievement on the activity or item being accomplished on a certain level. So we have on the other hand the analytic rubric, which are the rubrics with columns for degrees of achievement and rows for assessment criteria. So this allows you to use a single rubric to score participants' achievements based on several factors. So an analytic rubric divides qualities into components and allowing the scorer to itemize and specify which aspects are excellent and which need to be improved. So these are the examples for the holistic and analytic rubric in making a do-it-your-own salt lamp. So there you have it, the different types of performance assessment scoring, an example of each type. So it's very crucial to remember that the goal of checklist, rating scales, and the rubrics is to give tools for systematic recording of observations, tools for self-assessment, as well as the examples for criteria for the students to use before collecting and analyzing the data of their work. So, to conclude, the performance assessment can help students get a better understanding of what they need to know and be able to do by creating an enabling environment for instructional change. So, the teachers prepare students for performance tasks by defining the nature of the activity, as well as the criteria that will be used to assess their performance. So, this needs a thorough explanation of the components of a successful performance assessment. So I hope that you learned something meaningful for today's video. And once again, I am your pre-service teacher, Crizzia Lobrido. And if you learned something, please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Bye!